స్వాతంత్ర్యం, సమభావం, సౌభ్రాత్రం, సౌహార్దం పునాదులై ఇళ్ళు లేచి జనావళికి శుభం పూచి శాంతి శాంతి కాంతి శాంతి జగమంతా జయిస్తుంది. ఈ స్వప్నం ఫలిస్తుంది.
In the chapter Jagannadhuni Rathachakralu of his famous creation Mahaprasthanam, the legendary Telugu poet Sri Sri penned down these verses. Filmmaker K. Balachandra's movie Rudraveena has its whole essence captured in these lines. Hey guys, I'm here to take you through the 70mm journey of Suryam, a common man turned social reformer played by Chiranjeevi in this film. It was a time when musicals took the South Indian cinema by storm, the golden age of Ilayaraja, where he delivered masterpieces by collaborating with the yesteryear stalwart directors. Released in the year 1988, Rudraveena, a musical turned classic, was crafted by K. Balachandar to raise the question, how obliged should a person be towards his fellow humans and humanity? Born into a strict musically inclined Brahmin family, the protagonist Suryanarayana Shastri, going more commonly by Suryam, is brought up under his father's strict value system. He is an obedient son with great respect, fear, and admiration towards his father, who also happens to be his music teacher. But he is always dejected by the fact that his father gives more importance to music over everything, even humanity.
చెవులు, కళ్ళు, సర్వేంద్రియాలు నీ మనసుకు వశమైనప్పుడే సంగీతం నీకు వశమవుతుంది. ఆకలి కేకలు నిన్ను ఆకట్టుకోవడానికి అవేమన్నా ఆలాపనలా, ఆవృత్తాలా, అపశృతులు. దీనిలో వేదాన్ని అపశృతి అనకన్నా.
The conditions Suryam grows up in are of typical orthodox household with strong beliefs in a caste-based hierarchical society and personal priorities. Contemporarily, this wasn't just limited to their family, as it was a time most of the Indian society functioned with more or less similar conservative views. The movie takes us through Suryam's journey on tackling his father's beliefs and the issues degrading the society. The earliest encounter of Suryam responsible for his worldview he would grow to, and the intention of the movie on the whole, is captured very early on in the opening song Chuttu Pakkala Chudara, which basically carries the idea that one should not just be blinded by one's customs and values to the point of becoming indifferent to the sufferings of fellow human beings.
దేవుడు నీకు ఇచ్చిన రెండు చేతుల్లో ఒకటి నీ కోసం, రెండోది పక్కవాడి చేయూత కోసం.
Being a musician himself, Suryam prioritizes people and their needs over music, unlike his father, as he believes music to be an art form that should be accessible to each and every individual, irrespective of the differences. This stems from his strong disregard to the very concept of caste and creed. When questioned about the caste of Lalita, the girl he loved, he replies saying he never bothered about it as he didn't even consider it to be an issue in the first place.
ఇందులో దాచేదే ఉందినా, అదొక పెద్ద విషయంగా తీసుకోలేదు నేను. ఆ అమ్మాయి అందంగా ఉంటుంది, పైగా మంచిది, అందుకే ప్రేమించడం తప్పు కాదనుకున్నాను, అంతే.
మానవ సేవ ద్రోహమా కళా సేవ కాదన్న.
In addition to these, there lies a revolutionary within Suryam who cannot come to tolerate the injustice and sufferings around him. Vexed and enraged, he is dedicated to make a difference. He wants his voice to be heard against the unfairness, and we often witness him raising his voice in displeasure. But this anger leads to a final nail in the coffin for the father and son relationship after he confronts his father for not aiding a fatally injured man just because they were on their way to a concert. Humiliating his father publicly and questioning his beliefs, Suryam also labels him as a murderer for having refused to help the person in need, which could have prevented his death.
కాబట్టి అతని చావు కారణం మీరే అతని చంపారు. మీరు ఒక హంతకుడు.
In an unexpected turn of events, the father then rejects Suryam as his true musical successor and declares that only when in future the world recognizes Suryam independently as someone other than being his son will he pronounce himself as father of Suryam publicly and accept the defeat of his beliefs.
లోకం నిన్నుగా గుర్తించినప్పుడు నువ్వు గణపతి శాస్త్రి కొడుకువి కావు, నేనే సూర్యనారాయణ తండ్రిని. ఆ రోజు వచ్చినప్పుడు నా పరాజయాన్ని 10 మంది ముందు అంగీకరించి తండ్రిగా నా కైదండం చేసి నిన్ను గౌరవిస్తాను.
The song Cheppalani Mundi, which showcases Suryam's inner voice, requires a special mention here as it takes the movie to a whole new level. Through the lines come out his pain, sorrow, and anger, and the song finally sets him up on his path to go out and fight the issues.
నేను సైతం ప్రపంచాక్షపు తెల్లరేకై పల్లవిస్తాను నేను సైతం బ్రతుకు బాటకు గొంతు కలిపేను.
Our protagonist in this movie faces a couple of unconventional foes unlike an old-fashioned villain, which are his father's ego and the alcoholism ravaging his village. Bilahari Ganapati Sastri, Suryam's father, takes a huge pride in his community and his talent. It is often reflected throughout the movie in different instances, be it him being reluctant to acknowledge his son's help in saving his dignity during his daughter's marriage.
ఏమిటి వాడు పాడింది? నేను నేర్పిన పాటేగా, అంతేనా? తనుగా నేర్చుకున్న పాఠం ఏదో నాకు అప్పచెప్పమను, అప్పుడు ఒప్పుకుంటాను.
Or his pride stopping him from attending his son's felicitation ceremony, or even stooping down to a level as to plot with the drunkards to ruin his son's marriage just because the bride is from a lower caste. He is shown to always let his ego get the best of him.
తాగుబోతులంతా పెళ్లి పందిట్లోకి వెళ్ళి అడగండ్రా, మీకు చేతనైతే పెళ్లి ఆపండ్రా.
The second villain, alcoholism, although not as strong as his father's ego, does put a strain on Suryam and his ideologies. Suryam even ends up sacrificing his marriage to tackle alcoholism as per the promises made by a few drunkards.
ఊరికి ఉపకారం చేయడం నిజంగా మీ ఉద్దేశమే అయితే ఈ పెళ్లి మానేసుకో, అప్పుడు మేము నమ్ముతాం.
He prioritizes the larger picture of society over self and hence decides to do so. The incident eventually changes the mindset of the people and he succeeds in initiating the change he envisioned. At the end, Suryam gets felicitated by the Prime Minister of India for his efforts in a huge ceremony, succeeding in a challenge that is from his father's perspective.
స్వాతంత్ర్యం, సమభావం, సౌభ్రాత్రం, సౌహార్దం పునాదులై ఇళ్ళు లేచి జనావళికి శుభం పూచి శాంతి శాంతి కాంతి శాంతి జగమంతా జయిస్తుంది, ఈ స్వప్నం ఫలిస్తుంది.
Thus, the whole essence of the movie is captured in these lines of Sri Sri, which loosely translate to freedom, equality, fraternity, and compassion are the foundation pillars for achieving a functioning and prosperous society. Suryam shows this by bringing autonomous administration, starting with his village and expanding it to the nearby villages. After a lot of internal conflict, his father finally accepts defeat and declares himself as father of Suryam publicly, also approving of Lalita as his daughter-in-law.
సూర్యనారాయణ శాస్త్రి తండ్రిని నేనేనని గర్వంగా చెప్పుకుంటున్నాను.
Changing lives individually transforms life of a village overall, and the dreams of a happier world in turn are realized. The bottom line of Rudraveena in short. The film Rudraveena on the whole is a gem that can be worn proudly in one's filmography, and that is very much true in the case of K. Balachandar and Chiranjeevi. The acting craft of Chiranjeevi and Gemini Ganeshan in their respective roles is spectacular and heavily convincing. The cast, including Shobana, Prasad Babu, P.L. Narayana, and others, are without a doubt added reinforcements. The album is still regarded as one of the best by Ilayaraja, where the stalwarts S.P. Balasubramaniam, K.J. Yesudas, and K.S. Chitra delivered songs of their lifetime. The film won several awards, including Nargis Dutt Award for the Best Feature Film on National Integration. Ilayaraja won his third national award and S.P. Balasubramaniam his fourth for the song Cheppalani Mundi. Despite the entire luster, the film failed at the box office, ending its run with loss. Yet, it gained a cult classic status in the following years. Subsequently, K. Balachandar went on to remake the movie in Tamil by the title Unnal Mudiyum Thambi the following year with Kamal Haasan in the leading role. Till date, it is regarded as one of the favorite Telugu movies by many, and the songs are even played in their smartphones by the current generation. Even in the years to come, Rudraveena will stand apart as one of the finest works of the actor-director duo and as one of the best movies Telugu film industry delivered.